Hi, I'm glad you're watching my video today. I hope the noise from my fridge isn't going to be a distraction, but I thought it might be nice to have a change of scenery today. So today, the time has finally come to talk about God's steadfast love. And I've been telling you for months that I'm going to do that one of these days. Well, today's the day. I just finished the part of my series on your spiritual armor about the shield. And the next part we're going to talk about is prayer, which is also a piece of our spiritual armor. So in between, I just thought I'd take one video to talk about God's steadfast love. Now, the reason I want to share about this is because one day, it's been a while now, but I was meditating on the verses in Lamentations 3:22 and 23, and they're probably familiar to you, but I was meditating on those verses and I came across some really helpful thoughts, and I wanted to share them with you. So before I talk about God's steadfast love, I just want to give you the verses in Lamentations 3:22 and 23. And I'm not going to really comment on these as I say them to you, because they're very remarkable verses, and I think they pretty much speak for themselves. So just think carefully about what they're saying as I say them. So Lamentations 3:22 and 23 in the King James Version says, "It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness." And in the English Standard Version, it goes like this. And there's been a song made from this version, so it might be very familiar to you. It says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness." That's Lamentations 3:22 and 23. So one day as I was meditating on these verses, I decided to look up the word steadfast, because I really didn't have in my mind what that really meant. And I actually just looked it up in a regular dictionary, the app I have on my phone. And the word steadfast is a very meaningful word. And in this context of God's love, it's pretty amazing. I know I'm always telling you verses are amazing, but you know what? They are. They're really amazing, and I love sharing them with you. So the meaning of the word steadfast, first of all, it means unwavering. So God's love is unwavering. That's great. It's never going to change or stop. But steadfast also means firm in purpose, firm in resolution, firm in faith, and firm in attachment. So think about those things. God's love toward us isn't just the kind of love that's like, "Oh, I just want you to feel good. I want you to be happy. I want you to have warm fuzzies and know that I love you." It's not that. We can feel that way when we're trusting in God's love, but it's so much more than that. God's steadfast love is firm in its purpose for us. So whatever his purpose is for us, and what is that purpose? It's to make us the people that he created us to be. God's love is firm in his purpose for you, to make you into the person that he created you to be. And he's not going to stop working out that purpose in your life. And that leads us up to the next part of that definition. Okay, God's steadfast love is firm in its purpose for you. It's firm in its resolution. So God is resolved to complete his purpose in you. You know, the verse that says, "He who hath begun a good work in you will complete it." He will accomplish it unto the day of Jesus Christ. So the work that he has started in you to make you into the person that he created you to be, to make you like Jesus, He is not going to stop. He is resolved to complete that work. Do you ever feel like it's just kind of hopeless? Like you're never going to be the person that you're supposed to be? You're never going to be like Jesus. You're never going to be the person God wants you to be? Well, you know what? That is not your responsibility. Did you know that? God has taken that on as his responsibility, and his steadfast love is firm in that purpose. It's firm in that resolution to accomplish that work in you. Your job and my job is to yield to God's love in our life, to yield to his working. And we talked about that in the last video, and you're going to hear a lot of that from me in future videos. So God's steadfast love is firm in its purpose. It's firm in its resolution. It's also firm in faith. And to me, that means kind of two different things. First of all, that God believes in himself, okay? He has faith in himself. He knows that he is able to do what he set out to do. There is no doubt in God's mind that he can make you into the person he wants you to be. Now, you're going to have to cooperate with him by yielding. I mean, you can stop that process. We can stop that by digging in our heels and say, wait a minute. This is going a little farther than I meant for it to go. We can stop the process, but God isn't going to give up on us. He's continuing to work and to knock and to say, hello, I'm here. Give in to me and let me do my work in you. And so his love is firm in faith, meaning, I think, that he believes in himself, that he can and will accomplish this purpose. But I think it also means that he is faithful. So his love is firm in its faithfulness. God is faithful and trustworthy to do what he said he's going to do. And he says that those of us who are his children, through faith in Jesus Christ, he says that his purpose for us is to make us like Jesus. And he's going to be faithful to do that. He who has begun a work in you will complete it. He is faithful to complete it till the day of Jesus Christ. So God's steadfast love is firm in purpose. It's firm in resolution. It's firm in faith. And this one I just love. It's firm in attachment. God's love is firm in its attachment to you. It's firm in its attachment to me. He is never going to open his hands and let go of you. He's never going to give up and say, for Pete's sake, this is hopeless. I can't get this person to do anything. Now, like I said, you can thwart his work in you by digging in your heels. But as you yield to him, he will keep on, and he will love you and love you. His steadfast love is firm in its attachment to you. So yield to God's work in your life. It's a work of love. God isn't here just hammering away at us and saying, you need to change. You messed up there. Whack, whack. Straighten up. No. He loves and he loves and he loves, and he gave himself for us because he loves us so much. Is he going to withhold anything else good from us? As it says in Romans 8, he gave us his son. Won't he give us freely everything else that we need to? And in his great and steadfast love, which you could continue reading about in Romans 8, it talks about nothing can separate us from the love of God. You should read those verses at the end of Romans chapter 8. His love never goes away. Nothing can separate us from it. It is firm in its purpose, firm in its resolution, firm in its faith, firm in its attachment. That's what God is in his love to you. You can count on that. Thanks for watching.